And then I thought, okay, you are starting to believe this. I did not want to. I tried to fight it so hard, you don't know. And I thought, I'm a scientist. I can't be having a faith. I got the impression, I don't know from where, that there was more of an emphasis on Muslim women being chaste and guarding their personal space and not stepping outside of marriage than it was on men, which of course is not true in Islam. I have never seen the beauty of womanhood and what a big blessing it is to be a woman, and how happy I am to be a woman until after I accepted Islam.
The following is a conversation with Jennifer Stamm from Germany, a Muslim coach who shares her journey to Islam. She was an atheist and never considered religion until a life-changing experience in Kenya. Facing hardship, she prayed for the first time, and to her amazement, her prayers were answered. When she returned to Germany, she was certain that God existed, but unsure which religion was true. Initially, she resisted the idea of Islam, but after praying once more for guidance, she found clarity. The very next day, she took her Shahada. In this interview, Jennifer reflects on her spiritual transformation and how Islam became the answer she was searching for.
I am from Germany. Actually, I'm from East Germany, which matters because in the east of Germany, most people do not have any religion. In my state, about 80% of people do not associate with any religion, and it was the same with my family.
What was your religious or spiritual background when you first started learning about Islam?
My family does not really have a religion. There are some Christians, but it's not very strong. And I had the faith of there is no faith. So I did not believe in an afterlife. We just die and that's it. And I don't have to worry about this. But I studied sociology and social and cultural anthropology. So I learned more about other religions in the process of that.
Was there a specific event or person that led you to start learn about Islam?
Yeah, most definitely. While I was studying sociology, I spent one semester in Nairobi in Kenya, and everybody in Kenya believes in God in some way. And my colleagues were all Christians. I learned a lot about Christianity. And then there were two very personal incidents that happened to me that made me completely helpless. And what do people do when they're helpless? They start praying, even if they have never done it. So I did. And both times Allah answered me. And the second time I was even shy to ask. And I did. And anyway, he answered. And I said, if you answer me this time too, I will start investigating about you. I will start learning about you. Just please answer me. And that was the main event. And when I flew back from Kenya to Germany, I was sure there was a God of some sort, okay? I was sure it was not Christianity the way, and I didn't look further, but the person next to me on the plane was a Kenyan Muslim who just mentioned maybe you would be Muslim one day. I laughed, forgot about it, and sometime later accepted, subhanAllah, Islam.
What was the defining moment when you decided to embrace Islam?
So that was maybe a few months later. I kept reading and more about Islam and listening until one day I was in public transport in my city and I looked out of the window and thought, if I die now without being Muslim, that will be horrible. I would so regret that. And then I thought, okay, you are starting to believe this. I did not want to. I tried to fight it so hard, you don't know, because I knew it would be difficult to do this. And I thought, I'm a scientist. I can't be having a faith. But of course, that is in Islam, that's no problem, alhamdulillah. And then I got the suggestion to make sujood. Sincerely prostrate to God and just ask Him for a solution. Either take this Islam thing away from me or make it happen for me. And the first time I wasn't sincere. I thought, if you are there and hear me, then maybe you could answer. And I was too proud. Allah forgave me and gave me another chance. Inshallah, He forgave me, gave me another chance. And I prostrated again because it was so hard to just let go of these thoughts about Islam. And after the sujood, My mind was already clear, but after sujood, after prostrating, my heart was clear too. And the next day I took shahada.
MashaAllah. How did the process of conversion feel for you, both spiritually and emotionally?
So just before I took shahada, just this moment before, I did get a bit scared. I did have to take a leap of faith and like jump a little bit, give some extra trust that this is right. Because in my mind, I was very clear, Quran is true and why, and Allah is true and why, and all of that. But people are not just mind, we are heart too. So I was scared. What would my family say? Well, what would I do? Would I be good at this? And I tell you, just after I finished saying Shahada for the first time, it's like a shower of light. It's like you always wore dark glasses and now you took them off for the first time to see. I felt like running out in the street and calling to everyone I'm Muslim. Of course, I did not do that, but it felt very much like, oh, this is what it is. Now all the pieces of the puzzle come together. And then the process of clarifying your heart really, really starts because there's so much you built up over years. So that takes time. But that moment is just incredible. Every convert will tell you it's an incredible moment just after you took Shahada for the first time.
Did you have any misconceptions about Islam before studying?
To be honest, I did not know very much. So I converted in 2012. And there was no Instagram then. Okay, so it was a very different time and the information was very different. I just felt very sorry for those poor Muslims who have to fast 30 days a month every year. And that was really it. And then I started seeing some Muslim women online and also some scholars, and then I learned more and more. There was just one thing that I had as a misconception, and I cleared that up before I accepted Islam, of course. I got the impression, I don't know from where, that there was more of an emphasis on Muslim women being chaste and guarding their personal space and not stepping outside of marriage than it was on men, which of course is not true in Islam at all, right? This is completely the same for both of them. But for some reason, I got this impression, and alhamdulillah, it was cleared up really easily.
Are there any Muslim role models who have inspired you in your faith?
Later on, yes. When I started learning about Islam, I didn't know anyone in my city. No one. I was alone for a few months, which was a very big blessing looking back at it, because it was just between Allah and me, everything. And then I started reading a lot of English books. At the time, there was not so much available in German by Islamic authors. And then I started learning more about the history, of course. And if you talk about history, there are so many people to look at, so I will not mention anyone. Subhanallah. And of course, our best role model is the Prophet ﷺ. But when you just enter Islam, for converts, sometimes it's hard to make that connection with the Prophet ﷺ. It was for me. It took me some time to really know him. So in the beginning, I just looked at people I could see online, like Sheikh Omar Suleiman, Norman Ali Khan. I read a beautiful book, Reclaim Your Heart by Yasmin Mujahid. Anyone can read this if you're Muslim or not. This is a wonderful book, especially for women, because we attach our hearts in the wrong way. So these are definitely people I looked at, yeah.
Do you feel your conversion to Islam has empowered or limited you as a woman?
Oh, that is a wonderful question. I tell you, I have never seen the beauty of womanhood and what a big blessing it is to be a woman and how happy I am to be a woman until after I accepted Islam. I liked being a woman before, but it was not really a part of my identity because where I live, it's a lot about being same with men. And of course, we are same in our value in front of Allah, but not in how we live and what is special about us. So accepting Islam only made me really see that more. I felt so elevated and honored as a woman through Islam, really, and still do.
Subhanallah. How did your family and friends react when you told them about your decision to convert?
Well, I told you where I live, so even if I became Catholic, it would have been difficult for them to understand why, because people, you don't really have a religion. But being Muslim it was difficult for my family because they were worried about me, about missing out on life, about being treated badly, about just doing something that they don't understand, and then they wouldn't be able to help me get out of it if I would want to. So that is understandable, and I have sympathy for my family in that regard, that they would feel this way and just out of love for me, and sorry, ignorance of Islam, because what they see everywhere is not really what we do, right? Because hearing that your daughter will, not be with any boyfriends, that she will not go out in a club, that she will not have any drugs and anything like this, that's a really good message. That's something that should make people really happy, but that's not what they knew at first, right? Of course, hijab is a big topic, but with time, I always knew, and that's a blessing, that my parents would love me and never abandon me, whatever I did. And that is a wonderful message they gave me. And that's very Islamic of them, alhamdulillah. And my friends, it was a wonderful filter to know what were shallow friendships and what are real friendships. And I don't miss any of the shallow ones that ended, not because I was Muslim, but because we didn't have anything in common anymore. And the other ones, they got even better. And I have met the most wonderful sisters and friends after accepting Islam. It took some time, but I did, and alhamdulillah, cannot complain.
How do you respond to people who suggest that women in Islam are treated unfairly?
Well, subhanallah, I think the issue is that people see a person and connect that person to Islam, and then whatever the person does is Islamic, which of course is a lot of times not the case. Muslims are just people. They make mistakes. You can have very bad husbands. You can have very mean wives. You can have very violent people. And they are still Muslim, but they're doing something incredibly un-Islamic. And it's very sad that we have a hard time communicating that difference for people. And of course, there's culture. Sometimes Muslims have a cultural practice that is completely un-Islamic, and that just makes it look like that, maybe. But then again, if you really know about Islam, and most of the Muslim people, you will know it's not like that at all. It's actually a liberation for a woman. Most of the rulings between men and women are for the women. We always, look at it like men are some bad predator that the woman has to be protected from. No, it's Allah honoring the woman, subhanAllah. But we need more information. And us as Muslims, we should do our best job to just be our best Muslims and not be so focused on explaining ourselves everywhere. Just know your religion and love that and be thankful for that.
Is there a verse from the Holy Quran, a hadith, or a specific Islamic teaching that resonates deeply with you?
Yeah. So of course, you know that it depends on the day and what you're going through. But I have one. It's actually here in my living room. It's in German, so I don't know what the perfect English translation is. I would say as I know here now, because it's in German. It's from Surat al-Baqarah. It's ayah 186. I hear the call of the caller when he calls. So that's Allah telling us, and in German, I think in Arabic, of course, even better. The original it's clear that he doesn't just call, he answers the call. Sorry, he doesn't just hear stuff from Allah. Allah doesn't just hear, he answers the call. And I love this. You know why? This is what I did. I just told you in the beginning, when I was in Kenya, I called out to Allah, not even knowing how to call him. And I just said, I need you, I need help. And he answered me. And I feel as a convert, that is such a beautiful concept, because when your family ever decide to call out to him, he will answer. He will hear and answer them. And that's such a unifying concept. Allah is talking to all of humankind in this. It doesn't say you have to be a Muslim to call him, or even a mu'min or a muhsin. You don't have to be a believer. You don't have to be the best person. You don't have to be without sin. No one is. This just such a beautiful idea of who Allah is, and that His door is always, always open for you. You just have to call. That's amazing. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. What do you think Muslims should know about reverts to Islam?
Okay, we can do 2 podcasts just about this, but of course I will keep it short. Don't worry. Reverts have a lot of times we view them, Muslims who have always been Muslims view reverts in a weird way. It's a duality, very paradox, either as babies who know nothing or as mysterious miracles, So there's some kind of awe and excitement about their story, which I really understand. And it's a miracle. It's a huge miracle that we became Muslim. And there's also some, I have to teach you everything. And while both of these are right, in the beginning we don't know, and it's a miracle, the same thing happened to all of you who are always Muslim. It's a miracle that you were born into a Muslim family. It's a huge miracle from Allah. And you started learning at some point. The difference is we already lived a full life most of the time, unless we're really young. Most of the time, you've already lived a full life when you came into Islam. And the experience from that life is not lost. You take it with you, and it only gets accelerated through Islam. So if we can just look at reverts as individuals and welcome them into communities, this is all we want. Just open your minds to them and let them come into your community. Don't expect them to accept your culture, especially if you marry them. That's another topic. Don't expect them to accept your culture. Expect them to accept Islam, and that's it. That's enough of change. Just welcome them. Just welcome them. And a lot of people do. I'm a testament to that, because I've been welcomed with open arms by a lot of very important, good Muslims in my life. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, and I'm truly glad for you, sister. Tell us, what advice would you give to someone considering converting to Islam?
If you are considering it, converting to Islam, you're almost there already. Allah would not put this in your head if it's not already something you would know or feel. But what happens sometimes, what I've seen over the years as a coach, but also as a Muslim who knows a lot of converts, either they come with a lot of knowledge, I am rationally sure that this is right, or they come with a lot of emotions, I feel that this is right. Try to balance this out. If you feel it, get more information and make sure that you combine that feeling with knowledge. If you know a lot about Islam and you think it's beautiful, great. Do it like I did. Put your head down on the floor and start talking to Allah. And then add your heart, because that's how you will have the best connection and best foundation. If you're already considering it, there's something inside of you saying, this is more than just a religion. There's something there that my soul is looking for. And take your time. I'm sorry, I have to add this. Take your time. Don't listen to other people saying anything. You have to take your time. And you already have something in you that tells you already have intuition. It's not like you're completely disconnected from God just because you're not Muslim yet. Trust that a little bit. And don't be pressured by anyone to go into any direction.
That's truly an amazing advice. Jennifer, I want to thank you for being my guest, and it was truly a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, brother, for inviting me and for this wonderful project. May Allah bless it always and let the right people.
Thank you for watching. If you or someone you know has a story of embracing Islam, we'd love to hear it. Your journey could inspire and uplift others. Feel free to reach out to share your story on this channel. Let's continue to celebrate the beauty of faith in the diversity of our experiences. Please share this video and don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful content. See you in the next one, inshallah.